Hello and welcome to a brand new series for the channel. Now in this series I am going to explore my Steam library. Now my Steam library currently sits at around 311 games. Some of those I've sort of listed as don't ever play because they're either broken or unfinished or, purchased in early access and then the developer disappeared. They're sort of off the list, but I'm just going to be going through games that I've either not played for a long time or have had for years and still not played. And that's what this series is about. It's about just going through my Steam library and finding those hidden gems that I've had all along and not even realised. Now, some of the games I play are going to be bad. I know they're going to be bad. This, thankfully, is not one of them. This game is They Are Billions. This is a town-building zombie survival game. We will start it up so you guys can see. Now, you get several different map types. They get progressively harder as you go. We'll go on the peaceful lowlands. You can change, the population of zombies. So, the higher the population, the harder it is. And the duration. So the longer it is, the less difficult. And to get to the next set of maps, you have to increase your score factor. So to get to this level, we have to do the previous level with at least 60% difficulty, which is that one. So there we go. Now, I won't be turning each game into its own series. It's going to be, one game per episode. So, the episode's length will vary depending on, how much gameplay footage I can actually get out of the game. Because if some of these games aren't that good, there's probably not going to be that great of the footage,
Gotcha.
You guys go over there. So you get to explore with your soldiers and build up and hopefully not die to a zombie apocalypse. Zombies are pretty much everywhere on the map. Pretty hard to avoid, to be honest. And you've got to grow your city, which will give you gold. Protect them with fences and turrets, and there's a big group of zombies straight.
Ready and waiting.
So the further you explore, the more zombies and the tougher the zombies that you'll come across.
Understood.
There's also towns and things like that which send out little mini hordes.
All right.
And then every sort of few days,
Of
or
course,
I think it's 30 days or something like that, when you're on the easiest sort of time frame, a massive horde from north, south, east or west will turn up and head straight for your fort and try and kill you. And the aim of the game is to survive all the way to the end of that time limit, where every zombie on the map, plus a horde from outside of the map, will come and try and kill you. And if you manage to survive, then obviously you win. Damn, this area is really bad. Normally you'd want a set of trees within your sort of building range. So the game handles the building range with electricity. The more electricity that you have, the sort of more things you can build. You can use these Tesla towers to increase your building range. So as you can see, if I build that, then I'll be able to build in sort of that glowing sphere. To be honest, that is actually a good spot for it. That can go there. Now, the amount of electricity you have is finite. You can increase it by building windmills, and you'll get an advanced windmill later. There's also power plants and things like that that you can unlock. But yeah, so just be aware that that resource does disappear. The next resource is food production. So you obviously need to feed people that live in your city. Certain soldier types and things like that will also need individual food for the soldiers, so you can get more food if you're near water. Then you can build a fisherman's hut. You can build hunter's cottage, They like grassland, they also like forest. So we can build that there, and that will get us 13 food because it's near forest. Now you can see that this has a radius around it, and I can't build another one within that one's radius. So I'd have to get to there before I can build the next one. There are better ways of gathering food later in the game, but obviously this is just to start you off. Then you have your workers. Now, the more tents you have, the more workers you have. Workers is separate from population to some extent. Your population is the total number of people in your settlement, and that will be sort of the absolute total potential people you have. Your workers, depending on what you build, so any building that you build will need workers. Any soldier that you create will need a worker, and so on and so forth. So you can run out of workers even though your population is like in the thousands, and it just means that you need to build more buildings to attract more people. And the game is basically a constant balance of these, expanding, killing the zombies, and trying not to get to a situation where you're wasting time. You want to always be building something. You never want, your resources to hit max, because then they just don't do anything for you. Now, the more tents that you have, or housing, the more gold you get. The bigger your army, and the more structures you have, the bigger the detriment to your income. Now, obviously, you need gold to build pretty much anything. Next resource is wood, so you can get more wood with woodcutters near forests. Pretty simple. Wood is, the basic, most common resource that you use. Next resource up is stone. Now, you get stone from these little deposits here with a quarry. Pretty simple. Next up is iron. Now, iron deposits are just like the stone deposits. They'll appear, they're blue. They will appear on the map. Final resource is oil, and oil can be gotten from these wells. Again, you need a specific technology to start mining it. Sometimes I hate these games when you touch a side and the map just shoots over. Now, obviously, all these zombies appear as red on your map, so you pretty much know when you've uncovered them. Now, in one of the more recent updates, they also added infected giants. These things are beasts, and when they decide to attack you or you get too close to them, you need a lot to take them down, because they will just rip through your people, they will rip through your defences, and it's just not a good idea to take them on early. Don't go near them until you have, a way to kill them. So yeah, on the whole, I think this is a fun survival game.
What do you want now?
I've not played it for quite a while, really.
Building complete.
It's one of those games I come back to every now and then. It is a very big challenge. Up there's some iron.
Understood.
As I say, it's a very big challenge. You will lose more often than you will win.
For the colony!
I played the first stage of this, hundreds of times, and I've only beat it 2 or 3 times. Now, there are tricks and there are ways to increase the likelihood of winning, but, it's like anything. The better you get at the game, the more likely you are to win. But if you're looking for a game that gives you a good survival, building mechanics, things like that, then I would definitely check out this game. Let's build a sawmill there so we can start actually getting some wood income. Wouldn't mind a stone mill, but that needs more
Ready
wood.
and waiting. Alright.
Now, to research new technologies, you need to build a wood workshop. That will come with sort of a set number of upgrades. Once you've researched a certain upgrade from the wood research,
Ready and waiting.
the wood workshop, you'll unlock the stone workshop.
Understood.
And do the same thing again. And then you'll unlock sort of the next building in the queue, and so on and so forth.
What?
There's also sort of very large buildings that have sort of
Commander?
wide-reaching effects, which are kind of awesome. And they also bump up your score when you build them, so they can be worth it.
Attention.
Let's get...
Building
Oh,
completed.
God damn you. Now, one tip that I can give you when you're building is pause the game when you're building. Because just then, I lost some of the resources that it costs to build a tent because time was moving on. Whereas if I say, don't want to build this now, because I'm paused and it hasn't started building, I can refund it and it removes the building at no cost. So I get all of the resources that went into it back. So, yeah, if you pause when you build, you're just going to have a slightly better time of it. Right. I can build that, then I'm close to the water's edge, and I can get more food. Now, you want to get the wood workshop up as quickly as you possibly can, because you want to start getting a better food source, because the hunters' cottages and the fishing cottages, they're not great. They give you sort of 10 to 20 food, or well, about 10 to 15 food actually is about the max you end up getting. The next sort of stage of food production would be a farm. The farms can get you sort of 64 food, I believe. So it's a massive jump up from sort of the production stage.
Tell me.
Right, you keep exploring, buddy.
Understood.
You are probably going to bump into a massive group of zombies soon.
Perfect.
There we go. Now, your soldiers matter, and the type of soldiers matter. So archers are quite quiet. They have quite a long viewing range, and they don't do that much damage. I think it takes 4 shots from an archer to kill a normal zombie.
Attention. Building complete.
Soldiers do a lot more damage. They take, I think it's 3 shots to kill a zombie.
Knock knock. Who's there?
This is something else. As you get more and more settlers in your village, you'll eventually need to hire a mayor. These give one-time bonuses, or they can give bonuses that last for an entire game. Every game will have 2 different sets of mayors, so, you know, these 2 might not turn up, or they might turn up with different abilities in the next game I play. So, this one will give us a constant gold income of plus 20. This mayor will give us a bonus Great Ballista Tower. Both are kind of awesome. The extra 20 gold, late game, won't really do much, because we'll be sort of in the thousands of gold income. Early game, it might give us a bit of a boost. The Ballista Tower is a one-time thing, and it basically just gives us a free tower to use. We don't have to have researched it first, which is a bonus, especially as we've not got to the point where we can even research stuff. We still have to fund it with electricity and workers. So, you know, bear in mind there are still costs. I'm going to go with the gold, though, because that's a cost that will, or that's something that will last the entire game. And in total, you get to choose 4 mayors. So you get this one, I think, at a 30 population. This one at 200, 600, and 1200. And as I say, the mayors can have some very good bonuses to them. Sometimes they don't, though. So just be aware that, you know, while the mayors can give you really good bonuses, don't bet on them being sort of game-breaking, because sometimes they're really not.
Just guide me to the infected.
So, as I was saying about the soldiers kill zombies quicker than the archers do. However, they have a smaller viewing distance, and their weapons actually produce noise, unlike the archers. And the noise of their gun will attract nearby zombies. So if I am not careful, all of this horde here will start coming in to try and kill this soldier because they can hear him. So just shooting that one, all these guys got attracted. So just be aware that sometimes you will prefer to have loads of archers.
What do you want now?
Because at least then they don't attract loads of zombies to your city. Okay. Right, we've got no food, so I can't build anything. I don't have any wood income currently. or I don't have enough wood income. Let's build a fisherman's cottage just there, and I want a couple of mills, or at least a mill. I can only build the one, because I want to keep on top of my energy production. At no point do I want that too low, because if energy production starts getting too low, then
Tell me.
the mills take quite a long time to build. So I don't want to have to sit there for ages waiting for it to build. Now, early game, in some respects, it's a good idea to keep these guys grouped up, because they can more easily kill the zombies that are coming near them. Because literally they all fire one arrow, zombies dead, move on to the next one. As opposed to, you know, taking 4 shots and that one's getting closer and closer, and then swapping, so on and so forth.
Attention.
But it depends on your playstyle and how you want to play. You could sort of have this group split into 4 single archers and have them each sort of defending an area. That is always an option.
Here we come!
Now your soldiers, you can also set them to chase mode, and as soon as there isn't a zombie in their radius, they'll move to find one. Chase mode can be a good thing when you have a very large group. When you've only got 1 or 2,
Any orders?
or, you know, a single soldier, really not a good idea, because they'll end up walking straight into a mass of 100 zombies and die pretty quickly. So, and you do want to keep these guys alive.
Our soldiers are in trouble.
Oh dear.
Waiting on orders.
Now there are different types of zombies. These are just the base zombies.
Let's get
You
them!
have runners, which are, or
Bring 'em on!
I say runners. These zombies are the sort of standard infected. Well, infected young, infected aged, doesn't really matter. They're very weak and slow.
Any
You then
orders?
have zombies that can run, and they're sort of more freshly turned. You then have really big fat zombies. You have
Charge!
sort of really fast zombies that can
Come
jump
on.
walls. You have spitters and things like
Let's
that.
go.
And it can add quite a bit of variety,
That will
and
kill
you've got
our
to think
enemies.
about your defences sometimes. You know, if you build loads of single walls, the sort of ones that can jump are going to get over those walls and attack your city, while, you know, your defences are, you know, all built up in one area.
Roger that.
Okay. Let's get a couple more houses down. Gonna need to extend the zone. Okay. I'm not actually going to build anything else because I'm so close to that 40 wood. I'd probably use some of that wood actually, just building those, but never mind. Okay. Now some buildings can't be put next to each other, and some buildings do need a gap for people to walk through. So for example,
Building completed.
I couldn't put another tent, or I could put one more tent there, but I wouldn't then be able to build one there because then this tent has no access out.
Attention. Building completed.
Tell me.
Yeah, go kill the zombie.
You are gonna pay me for this, right?
Right, they're handling it, that's fine. As soon as we've got some more wood, in fact, let's build that there so we can actually harvest more wood. Now, by middle clicking, you get this sort of pared down mode. It removes sort of the trees and shows you just the trees as a zone. And it can help you build, because the camera in this game doesn't turn. It's a
Just
fixed
tell me
camera.
what to do.
So, you know, to see behind there, sometimes if you just hit the middle mouse button, you'll be able to have this view. And it'll become easier to sort of plan out where you're building
orders?
walls and things like that.
What? Great.
Now, the other thing I will say about this series, guys, is if you see a game that you want me to do a Let's Play on, or that you think would be a fun one to see a Let's Play on, let me know in the comments, let me know on Group 4038. I'm always open to suggestions, and, you know, as this series is going to be a spotlight of the games in my Steam library, you know, it's not like I don't already have the game to play. And if you guys really want to see a Let's Play on it, I will probably do one.
Attention. Building completed.
But that's where I'm going to wrap up this episode, guys. So hopefully you've enjoyed this little spotlight into one of the games that is in my library. This is a game that I do play on occasion. Next episode, we're probably going to dive into something that has just sat in my games folder and never been played. Whether it'll be a game that I have no idea what's going on, or whether it'll be a game that I know something about but have just never played, I don't know yet. I'm kind of choosing the games at random. But please like, comment and subscribe. Don't forget you can join Group 4038 if you go onto my Steam page, and if you want to help support the channel then please check out my Patreon. Catch you next time.